Welcome back to Deadscape Diaries, your trusted channel for all things eerie and spine-chilling. Today, we're diving into a new collection of horror stories that will keep you up at night. From ghostly encounters to unsettling urban legends, we're here to share the tales that make your skin crawl and your heart race. In this episode, we delve into the most bone-chilling stories, recounting terrifying experiences that blur the line between reality and nightmare. Get ready for a journey into the unknown, where every shadow hides a secret and every whisper tells a tale. So dim the lights, grab your favorite blanket, and prepare to be scared. If you love a good scare, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a haunting episode. Now, let's step into the darkness and uncover the mysteries that await. Welcome to Deadscape Diaries. The Silent Stalker. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the dense forest. Sarah, Mark, Jenny, and Tom had been hiking for hours, eager to conquer the infamous Ridgeback Trail. The trail was known for its challenging terrain and breathtaking views, but as twilight approached, an eerie silence settled over the woods. The usual symphony of birds and insects fell silent, replaced by an unsettling stillness. They set up camp in a small clearing, their laughter breaking the oppressive quiet. As they sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and sharing stories, the topic inevitably turned to local legends. Mark, always the skeptic, laughed off the tales of cryptids and strange creatures that supposedly roamed the woods. "Come on, you don't really believe in that stuff, do you?" he scoffed. But Tom, a local and the one who had suggested the trip, was less dismissive. "I've heard stories, man. People have seen things out here. Strange things. They say there's something that stalks these woods, something not quite human." The fire crackled, casting flickering shadows on their faces. The wind rustled the leaves, and a chill ran down Sarah's spine. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. As the night grew darker, they decided to turn in, retreating to their tents. Sarah found sleep elusive. She lay in her sleeping bag, listening to the sounds of the forest. Her heart leaped when she heard a branch snap nearby. She strained her ears, trying to catch any other sounds, but there was only silence. Unable to ignore her unease, Sarah quietly unzipped her tent and stepped outside. The moon cast an eerie light over the clearing, and shadows danced among the trees. She heard it again, a soft, almost imperceptible sound, like breathing. She turned, and her breath caught in her throat. Just beyond the edge of the clearing, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at her. "Mark? Jenny? Tom?" she called out, her voice trembling. But there was no response. The eyes blinked, and the creature stepped into the moonlight. It was unlike anything Sarah had ever seen, tall and gaunt, with long, sinewy limbs and a face that was almost human, but grotesquely distorted. It moved with a silent, predatory grace, and its eyes never left hers. Sarah's scream pierced the night, jolting her friends awake. They scrambled out of their tents, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. "Sarah, what's wrong?" Mark shouted. It's out there," Sarah gasped, pointing toward the trees. "Something's watching us." They turned their flashlights to the forest's edge, but saw nothing. Mark shook his head, trying to calm her down. "It's probably just an animal. Let's get back inside." But Sarah knew what she had seen, and as they reluctantly returned to their tents, the feeling of being watched persisted. Hours passed in tense silence. Then, just as they began to drift off again, a blood-curdling howl echoed through the woods. The ground seemed to tremble as the creature's footsteps grew closer. More insistent, they had to run. "Everyone, get up. We have to go now," Tom yelled, his voice filled with panic. They grabbed their gear and stumbled into the darkness, their flashlights casting frantic beams of light. The creature was behind them, its eyes glowing with a malevolent hunger. It moved with terrifying speed, closing the distance effortlessly. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she ran, her breath coming in ragged gasps. "Don't look back. Just keep running." Jenny cried, but Sarah couldn't help herself. She glanced over her shoulder and saw the creature leaping from tree to tree, its elongated fingers stretching out toward them. They reached a steep incline and began to climb, their muscles burning with effort. The creature let out another howl, a sound that seemed to vibrate through their very bones. Sarah's foot slipped on the loose gravel and she tumbled down, her flashlight skittering away. Mark and Tom grabbed her arms, pulling her up just as the creature lunged. They scrambled over the ridge and into the dense underbrush, the creature's snarls echoing behind them. They ran until their lungs burned and their legs could carry them no further. They collapsed in a small clearing, the creature's howls now distant but still hauntingly close. "Is everyone okay?" Tom panted, looking around at his friends. They nodded, too exhausted to speak. Sarah's heart was still racing, and her mind was a whirl of fear and confusion. "What was that thing?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know," Tom replied, his voice trembling. "But we need to keep moving. We have to find a way out of here." The night stretched on, an endless marathon of terror. They stuck close together, moving as quietly as they could, hoping to put as much distance between them and the creature as possible. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sent their hearts racing anew. As dawn broke, they stumbled onto an old, overgrown path. It wasn't the trail they had come in on, but it was a path nonetheless. With the first light of day, their hope began to rekindle. They followed the path, their pace quickening with the promise of escape. Finally, they emerged from the forest, their clothes torn and their bodies bruised, but alive. They collapsed in relief, the morning sun warming their cold, clammy skin. They made their way back to civilization, each step taking them further from the nightmare they had barely survived. But the memory of the creature, its glowing eyes and silent pursuit, would haunt them forever, and as they left the forest behind, they couldn't shake the feeling that the creature was still watching, waiting for its next prey. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey into the world of horror stories. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Deadscape Diaries. If these stories gave you chills, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Deadscape Diaries and click the bell icon to get notified about our next spine-tingling adventure. Have a horror story of your own? We would love to hear it. Drop it in the comments. Until next time, stay safe and remember, The things that go bump in the night might be closer than you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Deadscape Diaries.